Hello there everybody, Sam's Trains here and welcome back to the Railway and welcome back to yet another of those Wren unboxings. I thought it was time I did another one really, and I'm left now with just two more unboxings to do. I've got this one I'm going to do today and then another one at some point in the future. And I've really saved the best two models until last, although today's unboxing is a triple unboxing and it's going to be these, oh no not that one, that one, and that one. And I can't hold all these at the same time, but just to hold one up for you, there it is. And this is the Coronation class that Wren made, and I'm lucky enough to have three of them, and they're absolutely superb models, and I've got three different liveries this time. They are different, I promise. And yeah, I'm going to get them unboxed. I'll choose one of the nicest to review, and then we'll have a running session with them all. So yep, I hope you enjoy it. Let's get on with it. Alright then, so let's get these three fantastic models unboxed. I think I'm going to start with this one though, so I'm going to move the other two out the way, just so that they're not in the way. So here's the box then, it's the standard Wren box. I'm not going to spend any time looking at that. It's got the little man on the front, as per usual with Wren. And on the end of the box it does tell you a little bit about the model, but not much. It's got W2227 462 City LMS, and of course City isn't really correct because it's either a Coronation class or I suppose at a push you could call it a Duchess. But yeah, I'm not sure where City came from. They are all City of, etc. In terms of the locomotive names, but yeah, it's very strange. Anyway, let's get this one open. This one is the LMS black one, I believe, but yeah, probably sport the surprise actually. Okay, here we are then. So there it is, a gorgeous thing, really is fantastic. And this one is just amazing. I'm just going to get the tender out first. Yep, pretty standard looking tender, metal wheels, pretty nice, really perfect mint condition really. Fantastic looking thing there. So yep, that's the tender. Move straight onto the loco. I'm going to do this quick today because I've got three to get through of course. So here it is, City of Stoke-on-Trent, running number 6254. And notice quite interestingly that it's classified as a 7P there by the LMS. As you can see by the side of the cab there, but it's a wonderful heavy machine. It really weighs an absolute ton, as is pretty normal with Wren, but yeah, it really does weigh a hell of a lot. So yep, there's City of Stoke-on-Trent. Let me just grab the tender to put with her. There we go. And then without further ado, we'll move on and I'll show you the second loco I'm going to unbox. So there we go. Let's put City of Stoke-on-Trent over to one side then very quickly, and I'll just get the box out of the way as well. There we go. So that's the first one done. Let's move on. There we go. And this one's very similar. As you can see, the box is basically identical, and on the end of it we have something slightly different, which is W2226 this time, 462 City BR. So this one is in a BR livery. Let's take the lid off and I'll show you which BR livery. Here we go. Oh, this one's a bit tough. Here we go, and it's got this reproduction instruction manual for the Barnstaple or City of London, but I think somebody else has just printed that out. That doesn't look original to me, but never mind, here we go. Let's get this one out then. This one is of course City of London in the maroon livery, and I'll get the tender first. Now the tender isn't in great condition, it's certainly not bad, but yeah, it's just a little bit tired looking, but it isn't bad at all, you know. It's got the plastic wheels, and yeah, as I say, it looks a little tired, but nothing wrong with that really. And the loco is in better condition. It's virtually mint. It's got slight loss of lining. Hang on, let me get this off. Slight loss of lining here on the yellow stripe there, but that is it. Other than that, it's in fantastic condition. And you'll notice this one's classified as an 8P, or a class 8, rather than a class 7, so the BR must have classified them differently. But yeah, City of London running number 46245, and if I get the tender the right way up, I can put that on for you. There we go. So City of London, a fantastic, again just as heavy, beautiful model. So yeah, I'll put that to one side and we'll get on to the last, which is probably my favourite. Okay. And here it is then, and again, very similar box, nothing different about it particularly, other than the fact that this one's in fantastic condition. At the end of the box, we've got W2229 462 City and Blue BR. So this one is a pretty rare one. This one normally costs a lot of money, but I managed to get this one pretty cheap, and I've had to restore it. But as you can see, I've restored it into virtually mint condition. So let's get the tender first. Again, mint condition tender. Metal wheels, perfect paintwork, really fantastic this one. You know, this engine has taken me quite a long time to restore. because it wasn't in the best of condition when I got it, but now I fixed it up, and as you can see, it's in absolutely close enough to mint condition. There's a slight loss of lining on the sort of plate of the logo there, but other than that, it really is fantastic. So City of Glasgow, that one, again classified as an 8, so 8p presumably, number 46242. And if I put the tender with her, you can see her. There we go, City of London, fantastic coronation class again without the streamlining. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to put these together on the ground now, so let me just move these boxes out the way. There we go, I'll just put these out for you so that you can see them. But yes, fantastic. I've saved these really as a bit of a best till last because I just think that these are absolutely stunning. And yeah, they're not all that expensive, to be honest. If you want them in super duper mint condition, then of course it does cost you quite a bit. But I'd rather buy them with a few little mistakes or a few little problems, so that you can, first of all, you have the little project of fixing them up and making them better again, and second of all, of course, it does save you a little bit of money. But there they are. That's the 3 coronation class or the city class locos. Fantastic condition, all of them. I'd say all 3 are very near to mint condition. So now a little bit of info about the class, the coronation class that is, not the city, and then I'll get on with reviewing one of them. So yep, let's get on with that. So the coronation class was a real mighty class of Pacifics introduced to the LMS in 1937 to the design of William Stanier. The class were actually to become his final Pacific design and by far his most successful. In their performance they considerably outstripped the earlier Princess Royal class. 38 of the class were constructed over 11 years and 3 remain in preservation today. Quite famously, the class appeared with the iconic streamlining on it, although this was removed from 1946 onwards, as can be seen with these Wren examples. This was done as there was no actual proof that the streamlining brought with it any significant advantage. So I've chosen City of Stoke-on-Trent as the one I'm going to show you up close and personal, not because it's my favourite, because it's not really, but because I think if the livery is correct, and Wren didn't just make it up, it makes it quite an interesting livery because it would have been very short-lived. Obviously the streamlining only came off in 1946, and then of course by 1948 the tender wouldn't say LMS on it anymore, it would say BR, so yeah, this livery can only have existed for about 2 years in real life, which I think makes it quite interesting. Let's have a look at the loco then, let's have a look at the various detail. Now with most of the Wren locos, and this one isn't an exception, there's not a lot of detail on them and they are quite minimal, but having said that I would say this one has a lot better detail than the Wren N2 does, for example. It has a lot better paintwork, it has a lot better moulded detail, so let's take a look at some of that. Of course you've got lovely lining all over the loco. Along the plate of course you've got the cream and red lining, and over the boiler and around the smoke box you've also got the various cream and red linings too. The side of the cab has some quite nicely printed detail onto it, although it isn't really up to modern standards. You can see there it's got the 7p power classification and the running number. It doesn't look all that bad, to be honest. And also the moulded detail is pretty good as well, as you can see on the plate there, just below the nameplate. You can see there's all sorts of moulded bits there. I think one of those is a sander, and there's various different bits, and the whole model has, loads of rivets and lots of moulded detail, especially on the roof of the cab where you can see there's all sorts of rivets there, and also presumably some separately fitted safety valves, although I suppose they could be painted. The separately fitted parts are basically at a minimum. You have got the handrail of course which goes along the boiler, and probably the smoke deflectors are separately fitted too, although I would say that's just about it. Round the front you can see the buffer beam is reasonably nicely detailed with plenty of rivets on there, and the buffers look pretty good too because they've got that silver paint on the end of them. The smoke box door has plenty of moulded detail on it, and it's also got the running number printed onto there, which is pretty good. I will show you inside the cab very briefly. There's no cab detail per se, but you can see the side of the motor there, which is quite interesting to me because it almost looks like a firebox. So, if you do catch a little glimpse of it when it runs past, you could almost believe that it has got cab detail, although really it hasn't. So, yeah, that's the loco. It looks pretty smart to me, I must say. It's not the most detailed in the world, but little is more, I would say. If you take a quick look at the linkage and valve gear and whatnot, you can see, again, it looks reasonably complicated, and I can confirm that it looks absolutely amazing when it runs, as you will see as well. Let's have a quick look at the tender then. As you can see, it's got the LMS printing on the side, as well as that cream and red lining. It's probably not up to modern standards, just like the rest of it, but, certainly not bad, and it looks pretty smart in my opinion. The underframe detail's pretty good as well. You can see there's all sorts of rivets and springs and moulded detail there, which is great. And also also the coal isn't too chunky, it looks reasonably realistic, and again, from a distance, not too bad at all. The back of the tender looks pretty nice as well. There's all sorts of moulded detail on there, and you can definitely pick out the lamp irons there and all sorts of different detail. So yeah, that's it. Little is more with this one, I think. It isn't the most detailed model in the world, and Wrens never were, but I think the size, the power and the performance of these things more than makes up for it. So yep, let's get this and the other two down onto the track and see how they perform together. So there's the fabulous City of Stoke-on-Trent then, all ready to be run. But first I'll show you what else is going to be running with her today on the line. She's going to be hooking up to a rake of 7 Pullman coaches, which should look very nice, hopefully. I'm trying to do something a bit different with the coaches today, so it's not always the same predictable stuff. So on that theme, City of Glasgow is on the middle line, and as you can see, she's got the rake of Special Coronation Scott coaches. And I thought, you know, technically that wouldn't be wrong because she is a Coronation class. So hopefully that will look nice. And on the very inner line, of course, last but not least, City of London running number 46245, and she's got a mixture of Caledonian and ex-Caledonian coaches there, which are sort of related to the LMS in a way, so I thought they would look nice with her as a bit of something different. So I hope you enjoy seeing those. But for now, let's get the City of Stoke-on-Trent up and tested. So here we go then, a little bit of juice at slow speed and we'll see how she does. Just kicking into life there. As you can see, that is a pretty good slow speed. It isn't terribly happy about it. It's making a bit of noise and it's a little bit jerky, but it can actually do it. It is capable of doing it. Here we go again. As usual though, these locos run a lot better at speed. You know, they're not happy at this sort of low speed. So yeah, not great at slow speed really. It can do it, but it's a little bit jerky and it's not what you'd call realistic exactly, so there we go. Alright, let's reverse up to the Pullman coaches and get her coupled to those then. See how she does. And of course 7 little Pullman coaches will be absolutely no match for her because they weigh so much. They're cast metal bodies, so yeah, they weigh a ton. So she could pull 3 times that and probably not struggle. So yep, here we go then. Let's get her started with her Pullman coaches at a bit better speed. And let's start with City of Glasgow then. There she goes. Very nice. And lastly then, the City of London. Let's get her started. There we go. And let's have a running session with all 3 of them. And keep an eye out on the line today because there's a few other locos hiding out there today. So keep your train spotting eyes peeled. There's City of London just going underneath me there. Those two running together quite nicely there, at virtually exactly the same speed. It's pretty cool. Very quick that one is, City of Stoke-on-Trent. But they're all set at the same sort of speed, but you know, some of them are newer than others, etc. So yeah, City of Glasgow a bit slower, but equally powerful, really. Beautiful. I think this one's my favourite, the City of Glasgow, but you'll have to let me know which is yours. I'll put a little poll up so you can tell me which of the 3 do you prefer, if any. So now for my ratings then of the Wren Unstreamlined Coronation class. First of all, detail 8 out of 10. Of course we can't compare them to modern locomotives in terms of detail, but compared to the rest of the Wren fleet I would say the detail is pretty much above average, so 8 out of 10 there. Performance, again 8 out of 10, fantastic pullers, they really are mighty, but they're not necessarily the smoothest at slow speeds. Character 10 out of 10, I think the Coronations were a truly beautiful class of locomotives and I think Wren managed to capture that perfectly. Similarly, build quality 10 out of 10, absolutely can't fault it. Of course, these are cast metal models, so they weigh a ton and they're really sturdy. Value, really it's a bit of a mixed bag. I mean, City of London, the red one, was only 50 quid, and yet the black one was 90 quid, so there's quite a bit of difference there, but really for what you get, I think that's pretty good in terms of price, so 8 out of 10 there, which gives us overall 8 out of 10. Wonderful machines, they really are, and they run so well. I serviced them when I got them and I've not had to touch any of them since because they just run fine and they continue to run fine. Just brilliant. I can't recommend them highly enough, to be honest. If you're someone who loves detail, then perhaps they're not right for you, but you know, for me who just loves to have fun with stuff like this, they're absolutely perfect, they really are. Well, that should just about do it for today's video of the Wren Coronation class without the streamlining. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to leave the video a like or even a comment, because I do love it when you guys get in touch. And also, if you'd like to, you can check out the Facebook or Twitter pages at facebook.com/samstrains or twitter.com/samstrains. It would be lovely to see you on there, and don't forget you can also send me your pictures or photographs to samstrains@outlook.com. But I think that's just about it, so thank you very much for watching once again, very much appreciated as always, and I will see you all very soon. Cheers everybody!